week. We've got to go out there one more time this year.
I tell you, things have gotten better in the past few years in our opinion of Terra Stadium, and I guess winning has something to do with it. I guess if you're losing some ball games up there, that bothers you. But as it turns out, we're winning them now, so the place doesn't look quite as bad to us.
We won the toss, and we elected to receive the ball, and right off the bat, we've got a penalty flag on the play. They've got got Forest Park for being offside.
Our captains were Derwin Brewer and Julian Blackman in this ball game. Roy Lee off tackle, and in his typical running style, low and hard, Bulls forward for good yardage, first down yardage in fact, and now we'll have another offside penalty by Forest Park.
Maybe a little too eager.
Sean drops back to throw, and Derwin makes a nice adjustment on a ball thrown over the outside shoulder, makes a catch. Derwin made two catches on the night. That was one of them, and one in the second half. No, it was late in the second quarter. Larry caught it and ran it in for a touchdown.
You'll see some slow motion here as we're on the 18-yard line. Beautiful look-in route.
Mike Cofield taking the ball. Good catch, good throw, had good protection up front.
Gets it down to the 1-yard line. So a good methodical drive here in the early going. And there's a nice hole for Raymond Allen. But they evidently clogged him up at the goal line.
The linebacker made a nice tackle on that play. Roy Lee off tackle to the right side for our first points of the night.
6-0, Julian Blackman on to attempt the point, and the kick was right through the upright. So we lead the Panthers now 7-0 very early. As you can see, only 9:37 to go in the first quarter. So we scored in about 2.5 minutes.
When those guys go out and execute like that, they almost make it look easy. Our offense is really doing a great job, and our starters are only playing a half, Larry, and we're taking them out and playing a lot of other people. Defensively, we stack them up pretty good the first time, and they throw one out here on the right side, and Jimmy McCamey comes up and makes a tackle. That lick didn't look as good on film here as we're looking at it as it did in the ball game. That was an intimidating hit right on their sideline, and they tended to kind of shy away from a few passes after that.
This quarterback, you and I were talking before we came on, is just a sophomore from Forest Park, and he's got a lot of promise.
I think he'll probably be a good one for him.
Penalty flags are down, and we jumped off sides.
Good pass rush by our defensive lineman. Lost contained there just a little bit. Ball was tipped, and Tracy Ward almost intercepted the thing, and was thinking he should have. Defensive linemen played well all night. They all graded in the 80% range, which is excellent for a defensive lineman with all the things that are happening to him. And you can see them pretty much on every play, putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback and forcing a bad throw or sacking the quarterback and making the hits on the line of scrimmage. They're really getting better each week, and we feel like last Saturday night they put together their best ball game of the year.
Forest Park now has the ball inside the LaGrange 35-yard line. Because of that personal foul penalty, you saw the official give the signal.
Had a late hit on the sideline over there. Andre Griffin and Kenzel Jackson sniffing out the screen play and almost intercepted that screen pass in the middle. Lost containment that time to the outside. Matt Ogletree comes up a little bit late to make the tackle.
They go for it on 4th down. He was in Never Never Land, really.
There's that pass rush by the defense. That ball was on the ground for 10 minutes. We were standing out. I wanted to jump out there on that football. It laid there, and we kicked it around, and finally a defensive back came up. I think Marty Carter recovered it.
So we take over 1st and 10 on our own 34-yard line, and the offense goes back to work. Another penalty flag. And offsides on Forest Park again. That's the 3rd time they've been offside.
Derwin Brewer on the carry to the outside, and nothing doing on that one. They had him wrapped up. Throw down the middle to Raymond. Good catch. Deshaun was 5 for 5 on the night for 133 yards and 1 touchdown pass. Had an excellent night. Here's a tremendous catch by Raymond Allen. Diving catch, fingertip, ball was laid right in there between the defenders. That is a great catch right there. I wish those guys were that quick, Larry.
We ran another play, got a couple of yards, and here we are deep now in Forest Park territory. We're still only in the first quarter.
Ricardo Rutledge, freshman fullback, comes in. The hole was breaking a little bit tighter than what Roy Lee was anticipating, so we put Ricardo in and told him that, and as you saw, got about an 8 or 9 yard gain. And in the meantime, we're telling Roy Lee that the hole on this particular play was going to break a little bit tighter than what he thought.
Roy Lee Moss goes over for, I believe, his second touchdown of the night.
All right.
Julian Blackman on to attempt the extra point attempt. He laid it up in, and the score now 14-0. Grangers on top of Forest Park with only 39 seconds to go in the first quarter. And you know, it's amazing, Coach Guthrie saying that Deshaun Cameron 5 of 5 on the night passing. He's already 4 for 4 in the first quarter, so he only attempts one more pass in the ball game. And of course, as he said, his starters only played one half. So Coach gets another test at naming names in the second half tonight.
Right.
He zipped that ball in there right off the fingertips of the intended receiver.
Good coverage underneath by Kenzel Jackson, a linebacker. Kenzel's a junior linebacker, Larry, and he's having another good year. He was a starter last year as a sophomore. Andre Griffin over there on the coverage, right on the man, and batted the ball away. Linebackers are playing a lot better. Good aggressive defense. John Johnson may have played his best.
Park with the ball deep in their own territory.
Draw play, tackle right there. Andre Griffin was in on it. I couldn't tell who made the first hit. It was either Matt Ogletree, number 30, I believe is who it was.
Forest Park has to now punt from their own 12-yard line.
I believe this is Raymond Allen's return. Makes the catch, gets a block, and then does some good running right there and breaks to the daylight, and then it's a foot race.
You can see, I don't think he was touched by a Forest Park player from the time he caught the ball. The extra point by Julian Blackman is good, and lightning strikes quick in the second quarter, 11-16, and your score is now 21-0.
Defense always likes to get maybe one score ball game if possible, and punt return is the way that we usually get it. Raymond's done a real good job with that, and Coach Ridings has done a real good job with our punt return and our kicking game on the defensive side of the ball in general.
And Coach, I think it's something they get us for all sides there. I think it's something too, it's kind of a tradition now at LaGrange High School to have a punt returner back there. It seems like year in, year out that's capable of breaking one. In the past, what, 4, 5, 6 years, you can think we've returned quite a few punts and kickoffs for touchdowns.
We've had been fortunate to have some good people back there with the ability to do it. That was a good throw right there by their quarterback. He lofted it just over a linebacker's head and underneath the defensive backs and made a good throw and catch.
He probably throws the ball 30, 35 times in a ball game.
You can see him dropping some of those passes now that should be caught. A lot of that is they hear the footsteps coming, Larry. There's not much more you can say than that.
And he took that one and threw it down the field. That's the best defense for not getting a punt return. Kick it out of bounds.
Go to work offensively. Roy Lee off tackle to the left side, and that's when he's at his best. Running low behind his shoulder pads. He's not a broken open field runner. He's a punishing type runner that's good for 5, 6 yards each time he touches the ball.
Third down right here. Third and about 5.
And Roy Lee for the first.
Keeps the drive alive. We're strictly on the ground mostly this drive here. Trying, just really running right at Forest Park. Nothing fancy. Getting Deshaun out on the corner. Great block.
Boot pass right there. Receiver in the flat was covered. He turned it up and had the corner made. had a good gain out of it.
43-yard line now, Forest Park.
Good catch by Derwin Brewer, and turns upfield, put the hand down, and he's gone.
And that was Derwin's second catch of the night. That was Deshaun's fifth pass of the night. The extra point is up. The extra point is no good this time. So it's now 27-0 with 6:12 to go. And Deshaun's not going to throw the ball anymore, and it's really going to be up to, I guess, to your second teamers after this first half. With a score 27-0, we kicked the ball out of bounds, have to kick it again, and boy, does he boom this one after
Kick the first one out of bounds, which is a 5-yard penalty, and then kick that one down to the 5-yard line.
Good coverage again. Special teams coverage has also been done very well this year by the Grangers. Flag on the play.
There again, the kickoff coverage is Coach Riding's team, and he nicknamed them the Pride Team, and they are really take heart with that and do a tremendous job. It's always exciting to watch a kickoff team. I've heard some people around town mention that watching our team cover kickoffs is worth the price of admission. So it's Jerry Smith got a helmet on the kneecap there. We thought it was going to be more serious than that, but it wasn't. It's been looked at and calling it a bruised kneecap.
Almost an interception, you can see.
Roland Roberts, sophomore defensive end on the rush, and almost intercepted that screen pass. Tracy Ward on the punt return this time. Doesn't quite get the corner to the outside, turns it up for good yardage.
We're in Forest Park territory again.
Deshaun Williams, a quarterback, wanted Deshaun to get a chance to play behind the starters' offensive line. Of course, right now we've got a mixture of starters and second team and several B-team people in the ball game as well.
Nice play, turning it up.
I mentioned Deshaun at quarterback. It's Ricky Frazier at running back. On that catch right there was Ricky Frazier. Got Chris Wood at tight end. Ricky Frazier again running the ball a little bit better. Kofi Adams at Z-back. Marlon Simpson at split end. See Rick Perry at offensive guard. Good running by Ricky, and last week we talked about his running and thought that it could have been better, and he went to work on it this week and improved it. Ricardo Rutledge, a freshman fullback, pounding up in there. Cedric Cameron playing some Z-back also. That's Deshaun's younger brother. I was going to say little brother, but it looks like he may be bigger than Deshaun.
And into the end zone, and boy, this second unit, or mixture of second unit and first unit folks, just drove the ball down the field.
They really did. We were proud of them. They were pumped up and ready to go. They knew that they were going to get a chance to play, and all that hard work they'd put in practice paid off.
34-0.
Second team kickoff coverage, and I think that was Ricardo Rutledge making the tackle. John Johnson putting pressure on the quarterback, causes a fumble.
With 40 seconds to go, we got the ball again.
Ricky Frazier again running through some blocks, looking a lot better, Ricky. That's a lot better running. Pleased to see that.
Grangers with the ball on the 12-yard line.
Had a little trick play right there. That's Todd Dow, who is our left guard, and a little play we'd put in, guard around, and we didn't get lined up in time. I think there were only a couple of seconds on the clock, and we had time to run that one play, so we ran in and didn't get lined up in time. And as you can see, Todd was on his way to a touchdown.
There was nobody around him on that play. He had him a touchdown. I know he'll probably, Coach, let me run that again sometime. He was ready on that one.
We tried to come back and run it again, and this the second time is not as good. Todd is a converted fullback playing offensive guard, and we just want to give him a chance to run the football again.
Halftime score, LaGrange 34, Forest Park nothing. Coach Guthrie and I will be back with that analyzation of the first 6 games, because you've seen them now the past couple of weeks, but you're going to see the same faces you've been seeing in the second half, this half, for the Grangers as we kick off Forest Park.
Ricky Frazier doing the kickoff chores now. Brian Truitt, Gavin Crawford, and I missed the other number that made the first hit right there on the tackle on the kickoff. Fred Moten playing linebacker. we got a mixture of folks in there now. Matt Ogletree at defensive end. That was Fred Moten, sophomore linebacker, making the tackle.
Grabbed the leg and just hung on.
Almost caught him. Bill Shepard chasing. Tracy Ward almost an interception. We're just steps away from making some big plays right there.
You can see, though, that the defensive line, this second and third team defensive line, is really putting the pressure on the quarterback, though. Yeah.
They were pumped up and eager and ready to go, Larry. I was really happy with them. Punt return. We'll let Marty Carter return this one. And does a good job of bringing the football back up the field.
Good field position again. The Grangers had the ball a total of 6 times in the first half and scored on 5 of the 6 possessions. The only one we didn't score on was when we had it with only a couple of seconds left in the first half.
Trey Baldwin on that reception, just half a step away from breaking that down the sideline for a touchdown. Ricky Frazier doing a real good job of running the ball. Just continues to improve each week, and we want him to continue to improve.
No quarterback keeper down to the 4-yard line. Inside handoff. That's Frazier again, who's been impressive in the ball game.
Right. Deshaun needs to get his head up there a little bit so he can see a hole develop on those quarterback sneaks. He had a little gap to his right. If he had seen it, he could have fallen in for a score. We kick a field goal right here because we want to give Jude an opportunity to kick a field goal every chance we get. Somewhere down the line, we're gonna need those 3 points, and we want to make sure we get some game practice in doing it, blocking it, lining up properly, making that kick at that sharp angle, and those kind of things.
18-yard field goal made the score 37-0.
Ricky Frazier kicked that ball off and made that tackle. Little sprint out pass out here to the flat. Incomplete. We have Tony Todd, number 71, playing defensive tackle. Bill Shepard, number 50, defensive tackle. Both of them in hot pursuit. Reggie Stinson playing a linebacker. Roland Roberts playing the defensive end. Matt Ogletree on the coverage right there, sophomore defensive end. Good coverage, forced the ball to be thrown high. Gave Jimmy McCamey a chance to return a punt right there. Yeah, he let the ball bounce, he broke rule number 1, never let the ball bounce in the kicking game.
Well, that might be the highlight of the show the rest of the night. See who's going to return punts for it.
Deshaun on the sprint out, should have kept running right there, Larry. Had the corner made, could have had a gainer by running the ball if he had just kept coming, but he pulled up and looked back for another receiver, and by that time the defensive line was there. I see Nick DeGesso, number 68, at offensive tackle. I saw Rick Perry, 54, at offensive guard. Gavin Crawford gets a chance to do some punting. Needs to point that toe a little bit. He got under the ball, as you can see, and kicked an end-over-end kick, which caused the ball to bounce backwards on him a little bit. So not a good kick by Gavin, but then again, not too terribly bad considering it's his first varsity kick with his back to the goal line. Tony Todd in on that tackle along with Fred Moten at linebacker.
This is really the first time Forest Park has had good field position.
Bill Shepard comes through, gets a sack. O'Shea Smith congratulates him. Tony Todd right there. Willis Blakely at the other guard. A field goal attempt just falls short. So here I was really pleased that that second group, third group of defensive people could keep them from scoring when actually they had a scoring opportunity.
Got a face mask. You could see him. He grabbed hold of a face mask. It was not even, it was pretty flagrant right there.
Have 85, Johnny Porter in the ball game at running back. 70, Jonathan Fagundes at guard. 62, Scott Brown at offensive tackle. 12 is John Davison, a quarterback. 87, Cedric Cameron at wingback. Here's Johnny Porter on the carry, and needs to learn to accelerate a little bit quicker and not give those defensive men a chance to react. Rodney Hunt, number 45, a freshman. Playing some fullback, Thomas Goss, 78. Mike Moore, number 55, in at center. Valuable playing experience. They need to make every play count. Gavin on the punt this time, better. I think he got...
State Washington Wilkes 70-0 score over Putnam County.
Grover Cox, defensive back, made that tackle, number 39. Bill Shepard fighting off a double team block. In hot pursuit, Ron Terrell, number 53, right there, defensive guard. I missed who made the tackle and watching all the other people. Good contain work right there by Tony Todd, number 71. Willis Blakely at defensive guard. Comes Bill again.
You can see he was being held right there, and I think that's what they got flagged for.
He puts a prayer. Alvin Davenport missed a tackle on the side right there. Alvin's got to do a little bit better than that. Reggie Stinson and Fred Moten make the tackle. Grover Cox coming up. Good pressure, good reaction. Roland Roberts on a nice tackle on the screenplay. Willis Blakely reacting to it. It's a good group of youngsters right there to work with in the years to come. Chris Weldon, sophomore defensive back, returning the punt. If he hadn't let that ball bounce, he'd had an opportunity to maybe make a cut and get a block and maybe make something big happen. Rodney Hunt, fullback on the carry, a little bit wide of the mark. Ball looks like it was fumbled there. We got it back. Kevin Graves playing wingback right now. John Davison on the option, pitches out to Bernard Sellers, number 24. Bernard, another sophomore running back. Well executed play for the youngsters. Mike Moore at center. Rick Perry at guard. Kofi Adams on the carry. Good running right there. Matt Alford playing guard on the left side. We're rolling people in and out right now and getting them as much playing time as possible. Another option play going to the other side. John Davison pitch to Cedric Cameron and takes a pretty good lick right there.
That's twice now that Davison has made good judgment in pitching the ball.
Sprint out pass, throws the ball deep. Not a good decision right here. Just threw the ball up for grabs a little bit, and we shouldn't do that. We should take the sack instead of turning the ball over. But it gives us a chance to go back to work on defense. And they're popping the ball through there a little bit on us. Linebackers need to step up and fill those holes a little bit better. Try to come wide. Mark Davis, number 72. Fred Moten actually made the tackle. There's a big hole we were talking about. Missed tackle in the secondary right there. I think Reggie Stinson finally makes the tackle downfield. Let's see, we've got Jason Rogers in at defensive tackle. Mark Davis, Ron Terrell. There's Mark and Ron making a hit right there. Rodney Hunt at linebacker. Tony Todd at defensive tackle. Nice breakup. Kevin Graves steps right in front of the receiver. Almost got an interception. Nice play. Broke in the proper place. Good little running back for them. Comes up the middle. Todd Merrill makes a tackle right there from his free safety spot. And they're moving the ball pretty well on us right now. I was hoping that this crew would be able to come up with a couple of big plays and slow them down a little bit, but as you see, they're running right through us pretty good. Had a chance to make a tackle there in the secondary. Kevin Graves at the corner position reacted a little bit slow and didn't get lined up properly.
Well, with that touchdown, the extra point, they get on the board in the fourth quarter, and with only 4 minutes to go in the ball game, 37-7. Coach, again, for the second week in a row, I believe you had your B team game canceled on you, so you were able to play a lot of your B teamers again.
It makes me a little bit mad that these people cancel a B-team game to begin with, because you're taking an opportunity away from those kids to get a chance to play some. So that being the case, in the back of my mind, I was going to make sure that we did whatever we had to do to make sure our B-teamers played, which if it meant score 34 points in the first half, then that's what we were going to do.
The B team was scheduled to play, I believe it was it Forest Park?
Yes.
They were scheduled to play, okay.
It's a region agreement where the team you play on Friday or Saturday night is also the team that you'll play B team wise on Thursday afternoon.
And if you play the varsity game at home, you play the B team game on the road and vice versa.
You're right.
Okay.
Goes Ricky Frazier again, number 16, running the ball. 59, Brian DeGesso has been in the ball game for a while now, but I'm just now catching his number. Gavin Crawford at quarterback right now, number 13. Rodney Hunt's a fullback. Chris Huzzy, the A-back, running the ball right there.
Second straight week we've had a chance to play 4 quarterbacks in the ball game.
Getting some pretty good blocks up front.
I was fixing to say,
Fagundes again, and Ray Shepard up front. Excuse me, an offensive line making some holes right there.
That offensive line, as we say week in, week out, does not get the publicity and the attention that all their backs do, but without that offensive line, these backs wouldn't be anything.
That's right. We had to switch some jerseys there in order to get some different people in different positions, and Lex Evans is wearing number 64. Playing some offensive guard, offensive tackle. Had to let him borrow Jerry Smith's jersey. He had a receiver, he had a 91, a tight end number. So we had to get another jersey on him so he could play down the line of scrimmage. And did the same with Ray Shepard, had to do that too. Another interception. I'd rather not throw an interception, rather just go ahead and take the sack or run and get what you can get out of it without throwing the ball up for grabs. I'd rather gain 2 or 3 or lose 2 or 3 as I had throw an interception. They throw the ball up deep. Johnny Porter, free safety, almost got the interception. Marlon Simpson at corner, Bernard Sellers at the other corner. They're going to throw the ball up in the air a couple of times right here, Larry, and I think we do get an interception here shortly. And there's Johnny, almost Johnny and Fred. They need to jump and intercept the ball at the highest point. They wouldn't have that problem with bumping into each other and causing each other to miss it. One more time, throws it deep. Johnny Porter intercepts, runs down the sideline. Ball needs to be in his outside arm. Good interception and a good return.
Down to the 23-yard line, but that was the final play of the ball game as the Grangers ended on a great note by intercepting a pass, and it was another all-around good, solid effort.